They're here. They're here. What's going on, everybody? We are officially out of the Endgame. Endgame is now out on Blu-ray and Steelbook and 4K and all sorts of those great deals, so you can enjoy Endgame relentlessly and on rewatch for the next rest of your life, as it is coming out this Tuesday on both those formats, and of course it's already on digital. What this video is going to pretty much be is just me reviewing the Blu-ray, what special features does it have, and also talking about and just revisiting the film in general, because it has been a couple months since I had previously seen it. I loved it in the theaters. I had such a blast with it, and really this film has been stuck in my mind, and really anytime I start to think about certain moments, I start to get goosebumps. I start to get chills. Do you guys get that too? Of course, as you guys can tell, I have my Avengers and Endgame shirt on, and I have my Black Widow hat on from San Diego Comic-Con, because the next Marvel film in this franchise is Black Widow. So there's a lot of things to be talking about. This is gonna be a fun little video. So guys, if you guys are new here, hit that like and subscribe button. Check out Sandwich on Films as well down below, because over on this channel we actually give out early movie reviews, we give giveaways and all sorts of geeky content. Plus over at Sandwich on Films we do give out advanced movie screens, so make sure to check that out. But guys, of course, before we get further into this, thank you guys again to all my Patreon supporters, and thank you guys if you guys are just watching this. You're seriously all the best. What I wanted to show first though is kind of both the versions. I bought the 4K Steelbook from Best Buy, and of course I also have the normal Blu-ray slipcover, which this slipcover is gorgeous. If you want to look at that, kind of flip it around. I love all these slipcovers that have kind of the like lenticular kind of flair to it. It's always so beautiful to kind of see that. And as in general, when we get a lot of slipcovers, sometimes they're not that cool, but this is actually one of the few ones that I actually really like. Moving over to the Steelbook, which I love this Steelbook. I utterly love the Steelbook. I think it's beautiful. I think it's fantastic. It's beautiful in every sense of the way, and just looking in the inside of it, this is an awesome Steelbook, and I actually really prefer this even over the Infinity War Steelbook. The Infinity War Steelbook was pretty cool, but again, I think the Endgame one tops it. It has our heroes, it has our fallen heroes, and it just goes in that whole entire route. Plus, I just love like the design of the A in the front, and then the A falling apart in the back, turning to ash, because yeah, it just totally fits into that manner. Avengers Endgame, after rewatching it for the last couple of months, you know, it's weird. I've gone through this weird phase where I have seen so many new films, and the kind of Endgame's kind of been pushed down onto my ranking in my top 10. I definitely still in my top 10, but after rewatching it, it kind of, all those feelings came back of everything that I loved about the movie so much, and it kind of just pushed its way back up, way higher into my top 10, and it's even higher into my MCU list now when I rank the whole thing. The thing with Endgame is I was just blown away by it, and every single time I've watched it, I've been blown away by it. Whether it's the emotional standpoint that they have with a lot of the different characters, a lot of the finale stuff that they kind of finish up in it, and in general, when you're talking about these characters and how much you care about them, it's that thing of how this is really the end story for a lot of them, but also the starting point for a lot of our new ones to come in the future, and that's something that I'm so excited to see what they do in the MCU. Avengers Endgame has kept all those points, and really, there's so many good moments, there's so many goosebumps moments, and even my small nitpicks with it, whether I wanted a little bit more from the time traveling sequences in the middle of the film, or whether it's, I love the beginning prologue and I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of that. Well, not really a prologue, I like to call it the epilogue to Infinity War. There's so much to this world, there's so much to this movie, really furthered out and built up, and I'm looking forward to whatever they add into the MCU next. For me on the last rewatch though, watching it at home in 4K, and actually, okay, I'm gonna be flat out honest, I watched the film twice. I watched it on Blu-ray and 4K. I wanted to see kind of the differences, and obviously if you do have a 4K TV, you want to go with that. There's always going to be the beautiful, just tiny subtle details that kind of go off onto the screen, and even when you look at the Blu-ray is still really well looking. It just depends on what you got, but if you have a 4K, I can't recommend that one enough, because when you look at Hulk, the hair on his chin and under his neck just stick out. It's those small subtle details that for me as a movie fan, as someone who loves that attention to detail, is fallen in love with. Guess that kind of sounds like that I fell in love with Hulk's hair, but it's kind of true. I love what they do within this. Plus, I love to talk about and just discuss everything that I enjoy about these movies, especially Endgame. And again, it's not just that visual detail on the 4K that's beautiful, it's the sound, it's the atmosphere. Now, the one thing I am a little bit disappointed by is that there is no IMAX ratio. I did kind of notice that because I saw the film almost every single time I saw it in theaters, it was in an IMAX or Dolby Digital ratio, and I kind of wish they would have kept that. I don't know what this is with them not bringing it into the 4K. Mission Impossible Fallout was kind of the same way. So come on guys, please hook it up and help us out here. I think the most touching thing about this whole situation is that it's pretty much the finale for the whole MCU. Now I can rewatch this on general, the story, and it's 3 hours long, so the best thing about it is I can pause, come back, rewatch a little bit, pause, come back, and rewatch it. Even though it is a 3-hour epic, and I have no qualms with that, I could have honestly used maybe another 30 minutes into this world, and I would have been totally fine. It is the return of the king when it comes to Avengers movies, and in general, superhero films. Endgame really is one of the best comic book films ever made. It's one of the best conclusions to any kind of big franchise that had ever happened, and that's really what makes this DVD and Blu-ray so special, is making you fall in love with this movie all over again. About these 4Ks, and I think a lot of people are wondering, well, what's the point? I can just download it on digital. I can just download that. The thing with that, though, is I've watched movies on digital. Even though it does look great, here's the thing. It does sideswipe and get rid of a couple small details that could be in there. It's missing a couple frames in the section. It's missing a couple things when it comes to the resolution. And that's why I've always been a big advocate for why you should collect physical media. Physical media for me is super important, because what if your internet's down? You want to watch Avengers Endgame? Well, shit, now you can't pull up your digital copy. But guess what? If you got the Blu-ray copies, the 4K copies, whatever it is, you can definitely watch that. The things that come down to this is one of my favorite things about Infinity War was a bunch of the extra features they had in here. Endgame, I will say, I was a little bit let down by all the features they had in there. I was expecting quite a bit more, to be completely honest. Cool things in here, though, is they did do a featurette that talks about a lot of the legacies of our characters and how this is pretty much the last one for them. Whether it's Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, and even the great Stan Lee. Plus, you also get a journey to Endgame with the Russo brothers, which is always a great little thing. I think one of the coolest moments in Endgame is the A-Force moment when all the women team up to take on Thanos head on, and I love that moment. I love that moment. I know some people think it's a little bit cringy, but I don't give a crap. I loved it, and there's a whole little special featurette around that as well. This was 6 deleted scenes, a director and writer commentary track, plus my favorite thing in almost every single one of the Avengers films is the gag reel. If you've never watched a gag reel for Avengers, then definitely start with Endgame, because it is perfect, and it's just fun seeing all these people have so much fun on set on what is pretty much a very emotional movie that kind of makes me cry up every single time I watch it. Before I get you guys my final thoughts on this Blu-ray, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button again if you're new here. Comment down below and let me know what copy of the Avengers Endgame Blu-ray that you are picking up. Steelbook, Target Digibook, or maybe just the normal version. Let's talk about it down below. Avengers Endgame's coming out the Blu-ray this week, and definitely if you love the movie, there's no reason that you should not pick this up. I love the movie to death. It is one of my favorite films of this year, and it's one of my favorite films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But taking a perspective on this Blu-ray, is it worth it? Is this the one that the fans deserve? While I think there should have been a little bit more special features, and why I also think that I wish they would have put in the IMAX ratio for this, maybe when we get that rumored Phase 3 box set or Infinity Saga box set, which I will totally fork out the money to buy, guys. They do want everything on 4K. The thing is I will check that out. I will buy it. I'm a big Marvel fan, but I hope they actually do add more into that, because I do think Avengers Endgame could have added a little bit more. This is the end of a decade of Marvel films, and kind of for me, I just wish they added a little bit more special features, but still, that's kind of just for me. I've kind of been a big junkie on these special features lately, but with Avengers Endgame, you get a crisp, beautiful looking movie that is emotionally tying, and actually all together you get to sit there and really revelize with how beautiful this movie is, whether it's from the story standpoint or to a cinematic visual standpoint. It sounds amazing, it looks beautiful, everything that you love about Endgame results back at home, unless you were in a crowded theater and people were just cheering like, yeah! Besides that, you can get all your friends together, you can get your family together, and you can cheer along with them. The thing I'm so excited about is be able to show my family this, who actually didn't get to see this in the theaters, and they don't know everything that had happened. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So mom and dad, hopefully you didn't watch this video so you weren't just a little bit spoilers. All that said, I'm going to say that Avengers Endgame is definitely worth the pickup. It still deserves that A score that I would give it from my original review, and overall this is a great film that I think has blown a lot of people away. But guys, let me know down below again, what copy are you picking up? How excited are you for Avengers Endgame? Do you guys love it as much as I do, or were you guys a little bit disappointed? Let's talk about it down below. Thank you guys again. Thank you to Fingerpaint Film and Disney Studios for sending me the copy, and of course Best Buy for hooking this up a little bit early. I ordered it and it got sent here a little bit early, so if you guys are ever wanting a steelbook, do the ship to home, and you usually get it a couple days early. And now I get to banter and love all this. But thank you guys again so much for watching this. Can't wait to talk with you guys down below in the comments. And of course, until next time, stay classy.